Hey everyone, and welcome to this very special extended episode of the Grammar Chat, where we sit down, pour a warm cup of tea or coffee if you're like me, and dive deep into the world of language, communication, and all those tricky grammar rules we kind of ignored in school but now wish we'd paid more attention to. I'm your host Jake, the guy who recently found out that saying less people instead of fewer people is technically wrong, and now I'm questioning every sentence I've ever said.
And I'm Sarah, your co-host, a longtime lover of linguistics and a grammar coach who genuinely believes that grammar isn't just about memorizing boring rules from old textbooks, it's about discovering the patterns that help us express ourselves more clearly, more confidently, and more beautifully in everyday conversations, emails, storytelling, or even when we're just posting on social media.
Honestly, I've been looking forward to this episode because improving my grammar has always felt like something I should do, but I never really knew how to do it, you know? I'd see these articles online that say, fix your grammar in 10 minutes a day, and then I just get confused 2 sentences in. So today, Sarah, I want the full story, what grammar actually is, why it matters, and how people like me, who are not exactly English majors, can finally start getting it right, without feeling totally overwhelmed.
That's exactly what we're here for, Jake, and I'm so glad you said that, because a lot of people feel the same way. They've been taught to fear grammar. They think it's just a list of harsh rules that they're going to mess up, but the truth is, grammar is simply the system that helps language stay organized. It's like the skeleton underneath your words. It's not meant to be a punishment, it's meant to be a guide. And once people stop thinking of grammar as a test and start seeing it as a tool, it becomes so much easier to improve, step by step.
Okay, that already sounds less terrifying. And I like the word tool, because tools are things we use, right? They're not just things we study. So what would you say is the very first thing someone should do if they want to start improving their grammar, like right now, today?
Well, if I had to choose just one thing to begin with, I'd say this: start paying close attention to how sentences are built in the things you already read and listen to every day. Whether it's a novel, a news article, a podcast transcript, or even subtitles on your favorite Netflix show, grammar is being used constantly all around us, and most of the time we don't even realize it. But if you slow down and really look at how a sentence flows, where the verbs are placed, how the punctuation is used, whether the speaker uses past or present tense, you're training your brain to recognize correct structures through exposure. This is called building your grammar awareness, and it's one of the most powerful first steps.
So you're saying I don't even have to dive into a grammar workbook or memorize complicated verb charts just yet. I can just start by noticing what's already around me, and trying to figure out what makes it sound right?
Exactly. You're already surrounded by examples of great grammar. The more you start noticing the small things, like whether someone says he does instead of he do, or they were walking instead of they was walking, the more your brain starts creating a mental model of what correct English sounds like. Over time, this mental model becomes something you can rely on even when you're speaking or writing quickly, without needing to think about every single rule.
That makes so much sense. I guess it's kind of like how musicians learn songs by ear before they even study the notes, they're just listening and picking up the patterns, right?
Yes. That's a beautiful comparison. Language, just like music, is full of rhythm, structure, and repeated patterns. And the more you immerse yourself in it, especially by reading and listening to well-structured content, the more fluent and natural your grammar becomes without you even noticing.
Okay, so once I start noticing good grammar more often, what should I do with it? I mean, how do I practice it without turning it into some boring school exercise?
The best way to practice grammar in a meaningful way is by producing your own sentences, not just studying someone else's. For example, start writing a daily journal, just a few sentences about your day, but try to focus on getting the grammar right. If you're not sure, use a grammar checking app like Grammarly or Language Tool, but don't just accept the correction. Actually look at why it's suggesting the change. That way, you're not just fixing a mistake, you're learning a rule that you can use next time.
Okay, but what about speaking? Because I mess up more when I talk than when I write, like I'll say something like, he don't like that, even though I know it's wrong the moment I hear myself say it. Is there any way to train my grammar when I'm speaking?
Absolutely, and that's such a common experience. The key is to develop your ability to hear yourself and self-correct in real time, and that takes practice. One great technique is called shadowing. It's when you listen to a native speaker, maybe from a podcast, a YouTube video, or a movie, and then immediately try to repeat exactly what they just said, copying their grammar, rhythm, and tone. You can even pause after each sentence and try saying it in different ways, like changing the tense, or turning a statement into a question. It's a great way to build fluency and grammatical flexibility.
That actually sounds kind of fun, like doing voice acting with a purpose. I think I'll try that with scenes from a show I already love, so it doesn't feel like homework.
That's the perfect approach. Make it fun, make it natural, and don't worry about being perfect. The more relaxed and curious you are, the faster you'll learn. And don't be afraid to talk to yourself either. Narrating your day using different sentence structures can be a surprisingly effective way to practice. For example, instead of just thinking, "I'm drinking tea," say it out loud, then say, "I drank tea earlier, and I will drink tea again soon." You're practicing 3 tenses with one idea.
That's genius. I never thought about switching tenses like that on purpose. It's like grammar gymnastics for the brain.
Yes, and the more playful you are with language, the better. Also, another powerful strategy is to record yourself speaking for 2 or 3 minutes every day. Then, listen back and write down what you said. You'll start spotting where your grammar slipped, and just by reviewing it, you're reinforcing better habits.
I gotta admit, the idea of listening to myself sounds painful, but if it helps me speak better, I'll give it a shot. I mean, it's either that or keep saying he don't in job interviews.
Exactly, and it's worth it. In just a few weeks of focused practice, you'll start noticing fewer mistakes, more fluid speech, and more confidence when expressing your thoughts. Grammar isn't something you fix in a day, it's something you improve through tiny, consistent efforts over time.
So if I read more, write regularly, shadow sentences, speak to myself, get feedback, and stay patient, I'll be a grammar wizard by next season?
That's a very grammatically ambitious goal, Jake, and I love it. But yes, if you follow those habits regularly and stay curious, your grammar will improve in ways you can actually hear and feel. And don't forget, mistakes are part of the process. They're not signs of failure, they're proof that you're learning and stretching your limits.
This has been one of the most helpful and weirdly inspiring conversations I've ever had about grammar. I came in thinking we'd just talk about commas and prepositions, but now I feel like I have a whole game plan.
That's what we're here for. Grammar doesn't have to be dry or scary, it can be creative, empowering, and even fun, once you understand how it works and how to grow with it. Just like you'd train at the gym or learn to play an instrument, your grammar improves when you practice with purpose.
Alright, I'm all in. Starting tonight, I'm reading a short article out loud, writing 5 sentences in a journal, and shadowing a scene from my favorite show. And yes, I will cringe at my voice, but I'll survive.
You'll do more than survive, you'll thrive. Keep at it, stay curious, and we'll be right here cheering you on. To everyone listening, we hope this helped you feel more confident about your grammar journey. Remember, it's never too late to improve.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Until next time, stay curious, speak clearly, and if you hear me say he don't again, you officially have permission to correct me.